Today I'm starting my day out really early and the sky is just showing off. There is the most majestical sunrise that's happening. And I mean, I was that early today that I even caught the sunrise. You can see the sun still coming up, and today is a long day. That's why I have my longs on so I don't get absolutely scorched in the sun. But we are doing the fruit orchard. And more specifically, today I'm laying the groundwork for this fruit orchard. Groundwork, I'm meaning I need to get the basins going. I want to plant some cover crops into the basins themselves. I want to get some, wait for it, in these rows in between where the trees are going to go, I'm going to plant winter wheat, rye, oats, and what is the other one? It's an ancient grain, spelt. There we go, spelt. So first of all, the grains that I'm going to plant here are going to serve as soil improvers because we've got clay ground, and the clay I need to start improving. Secondly, I want to start using this as seed. So the 2 meters by 30 meters I'm going to do is hopefully going to give me a whole whack of seed to then continue. And then you may or may not know that seed acclimatizes to the climate it's in. So the more I grow the seed here, the more it's going to acclimatize, the better it's going to be able to handle cold, heat, all of that. So there's a lot of work to do today, a lot. But before I start working, I'm going to take in some more of the sunrise because it is just absolutely beautiful. And then we're going to get hydrated and ready to make this day amazing. Now the sun's up, I need to start preparing for the day ahead, and that's where my electrolytes come in. It's something I haven't really mentioned to you guys before because it's just what I do in the background. But out here in the heat, dehydration is a really big concern. And I have actually been dehydrated quite badly, where I was stumbling around, I had blurred vision, and I literally had to get in the car and in my state drive about 20 kilometers to get a Coke. My sugars were all over the place, it was just a nightmare. But ever since that day, I've been taking electrolytes, and I don't know if you really know this, but it was quite a wake-up call for me that just drinking water does nothing for you. And I would quite often get home and I would have in one day drank 5 liters of water. And I'm completely dehydrated. I've got like dehydration headaches. I'm cramping, all of that. And after just doing some research, like why is this happening? I'm drinking water. It turns out that drinking water on its own in such a harsh climate doesn't work. It doesn't get absorbed into the cells within your body, which is where you need the water the most. And that's where these electrolytes come in. So I have been using Revive electrolytes for quite a while. I've been using the raw ones, which are not flavored. And these flavored ones are epic. And the nice thing is, if you check this out, energy, 0 calories, carbs, 0. So they don't use sugar, there's no calories in them, but they're flavored. This is raspberry, lemon, lime, watermelon, and peach, apple, blackcurrant, and blood orange. And for today's work out here doing the fruit orchard, I think I'm going to give the blood orange a go. And it's also quite nice that it's a good amount. You need to do 750 mils per sachet. So what I'll do in a normal day is I'll have one, possibly two of these, which already is 1.5 liters if I'm having two. But I would complement this with water because my body is then getting the electrolytes it needs to be able to absorb the nutrients or the minerals, which then allow the water to be taken into the cells within the body. And then what I will do is this will be by my side the whole day. I will sip on this and gulp on this one. So now that I'm electrolyted, yes, no, I can start cracking because the sun is coming up and there's a lot of work that needs to happen today. So it's time to change hats. The sun is absolutely baking and I cannot burn today. So let me explain to you what I have done. So you would have seen me clearing out this strip over here. Well, clearing out, but just like semi-grading it. It's not tilling. I don't want to till just because I want the ground to naturally get sorted. But I'm not completely against it. I'm going to see how the crops grow in here, and it might be that the ground needs a once-off tilling, but I'd rather do the tilling once I have roots in the ground and mass above ground to mix it in. Tilling now makes absolutely no sense. So I've just roughed up the top of the ground, and then there's little grooves. So I'm now going to sprinkle the seeds and then rough it up again just so the seeds can get covered. Give it a water, and then within a week there's going to be sprouts here. It's quite a lot of hard work. I've already got 2 blisters, these little weak city hands of mine. So I'm going to do the other 1, 2, 3 before I do the seeds. So it might be a little while until I see you again. I'm going to look a lot worse for wear after that because this is really hard work. And then I'm hoping what we can do is get at least this 1 row of basins done. For the basins, what I'm going to do is when they cleared out this ground, you see they pushed all of the leftover ground up into heaps. Now, if you saw what I did with my trees up at the top, I actually took a hoe, dug in and pulled it back to make the basins. And that was exhausting. So what I'm going to do this time is I bought a wheelbarrow that a neighbor had that I could use. And I'm just going to load that ground into wheelbarrows, loads, and then using the same contour leveler, I'm going to make contour basins using that. So rather than digging in, I'm going to level up, which I think should work just as well. Now, one of the concerns, which is a very valid concern, with fruit trees in clay soil is that their roots stay too wet for too long. Now, what I did is I did a drone flyover from the top of where I've just cleared to the end. And obviously the drone is level, so you could see the slant. I don't think these camera angles do it much justice, but when I saw that drone footage, I was like, you can see. So I'm going to put it up for you now, and what you can do is you'll see that the downward gradient is pretty steep, so that's what's going to be catching the water. So I'm not worried about wet feet with the trees because that water is going to run underground. Anything that's excess is going to run, it's not just going to sit there. And then also you'll see as the drone flew, it got higher and higher, but it remained stable. So the ground is also going down towards the back. So it's sloping and down. So I really don't have a problem with the basins. The basins are actually going to work incredibly well. It's going to catch any and all water that comes down here. So I'm really excited. This is just going to turn into like a green, abundant little garden of Eden over here. So let me get grafting with the other three, and I'll check in with you in a little bit. I'm done. There was a stage where I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it. It was so hard, but I made it. I think the mental decision to switch over to only doing the rows, finishing the rows off, and coming to do the basins at a later stage was a good one. I think it made a big difference psychologically for me, so I could just push through. This one's done, last one done. Now all the graft work is over, and I just need to get these watered in. So my plan is, first, water them. Not heavily, because I don't want the water to run, I just want it to be moist. Then I'm going to cast the seed, and then I'm going to take a very, very, very light raking over it. So it's going to be moist as well. I just don't want all the seeds to sit in the top and the birds come and just have an absolute feast. And then once I've mixed the seed in again, then I will give it another watering. So hopefully not too much longer, and then we can call it a day, because I have been up since 4 a.m. So it's all worth it. It's all so worth it. When you look at that, I can work the whole day, wake up at 4, go to sleep at 8, easy peasy, any day. Let's get this watered, and hopefully in the coming weeks we'll have a little mini grain section in our fruit orchard. I am done with everything, and I am absolutely broken. One bed, 2 meters by 30 meters. Oh my goodness. But luckily the weather's changed. Second bed, and it's got a lot cooler. It actually looks like it might rain. Third bed, fourth bed. Well, not bed, row. We have, just to tell you again, we have winter hard, what's the word, my brain's not functioning properly. Hardy winter red wheat, something like that. And then oats, second one. Third one is spelt. Fourth and last one is rye. So I'm hoping it's all gonna work. I'm just gonna give it a quick watering. I really don't need to show you that. And then we're calling it a day. Been up, like I said, I've been up since 4. I'm absolutely knackered. I'm super glad I could bring you along with me, because this is one huge achievement. To do this in one day on your own with hand tools, I'll give myself a pat on the back for that one. So thank you once again for joining me on my journey, for partaking. I love all of your comments. Every video I publish, I look forward to hearing what you all have to say. If you want to support me on this journey, then you are more than welcome to buy me a coffee. You can head over to Patreon. The coffees you buy me really make a big difference. Thank you to all of those that have bought me coffees. And you can also become a member here on for YouTube, where I'm going to give you way more extra content behind the scenes. Once the fruit orchard's going, the veggie garden's going, the member section is going to get filled with how-to guides. Because if you don't know it yet, I've actually been veggie gardening for many years, and I've got a second YouTube channel called My Sustainability Journey that teaches people how to grow their own food. So I'm going to be able to, during the member section, take it up a notch, scale it up so we can make it Homestead-like. Thank you once again for all of your incredible support. Can't wait to see you again. Until next time, happy homesteading.